Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today I'm finally showing off the Tier 8 Lexington USN CV, and it's been a little while. I've been meaning to show off a replay with this almost said vehicle, the ship for some time now. I'm still kind of grinding my way, and yes, I know CVs, blah blah blah. Yes, I understand. I completely understand the concern and the hate towards them. That's fine. I understand that completely. So we are playing on Neighbors, and we're actually top tier, which is really super nice because tier 8 CVs, either they're too powerful or they're not powerful enough. So yeah, finally being top tier is really nice as a CV because you're actually able to do something for a change compared to dealing with a lot of tier 10s. So anyways, there are a couple DDs on the enemy team. Now the Lexington, as any moment now, we should be, yep, spotting the Gajamada. Fortunately, he's right below me, so I'm not able to get my rockets off. Now, the USN carriers are pretty strong compared to their IGN counterpart, and I'm not even going to talk about the British CVs. I would say the British CVs are kind of comparable to the USN CVs, but they are probably the most potent nation right now. They have the most, or better yet, they have the greatest ability to do dot damage because they have torpedoes and they have dive bombers, which actually drop HE bombs. Now, obviously, IGN has AP bombs and they deal more direct damage than actual dot damage. So there's a big difference there. And now CVs did get a little change on the dive bombers to kind of help on two aspects. Help the DDs reduce their chance of actually getting dropped by dive bombers, because USN dive bombers used to be really powerful against destroyers, but now that's no longer the case. Do you drop a fighter to prevent this implacable from dropping on our Mogami, and obviously the CV drops their fighter as well, but we're able to get away from it, so it's actually not that big of a deal. Now, obviously, fighters aren't as good as they used to be. It does take them a moment to actually lock onto target, but once they lock into target, they're quite devastating. As you can see, managed to completely annihilate the rest of that squadron. So, huge buff there. Do drop my torpedoes for two things. One, so I can kind of recycle my planes a little bit easier, make sure I have enough planes in the long run. And another is to get myself a little bit more distance to get closer to this Vladivostok, so I don't get instantly annihilated. Managed to actually land all three torpedoes. Finally get a flooding. Now that is a Vladivostok, which means that they do have a very quick damage repair party. Now the Vladivostok did drop a fighter, so I do have to be a little bit careful with that. So do have to be kind of considerate on where to drop. Now, our team... Well, let's talk about our team real quick. Our team's not particularly amazing, and you will see this over the course of the battle. They really kind of dropped the ball here. And as you can see, we're kind of lemming training up to B and C. Have yet to actually capture anything. Looks like our Anshan is reversing into C. We have our sign up that's going to be dropping in. And as a good CV player, being aware of the map and positioning of fleets is very important, because as you can see, I'm pretty much by myself right now, and I've kind of debated whether or not, had I stayed and gone and tried Cap A, it's kind of spoilers, would I have survived? I don't know. It's kind of a question I'm kind of wondering, but you'll see what I mean. So I do decide to go ahead and pull out. Now, I did get a flooding on that Bismarck, and our Akatsuki, props to him, because he sees three battleships. He's like, ooh, lunch. So obviously he does charge after this side, does get torpedoes off, and does land Huge volley on that Vladivostok. Doesn't quite kill him. But with CVs, and CVs are kind of known for kill stealing, I am going to charge in here. Yes, I'm taking a lot of damage because look at that. There's a Bismarck, North Carolina, Baltimore, and, well, there was a Vladivostok. No, there's not. So we managed to take out the Vladivostok, which has given our team a little bit more points. We are currently trying to cap C and B, but obviously C is being prevented by the Gajamada, so not able to do really much there. And it's just, the positioning right now is not particularly amazing for our team. We're huddled up, which is beneficial because it does help prevent the attack runs on from the CVs, enemy CVs. But at the exact same time, we're not really taking advantage of this. We're not really pushing. We've just lost our Bismarck. So things are a bit iffy right now. I do see the drop coming from the Lexington. I do vector my planes over. I am going to try to assist. And this is something you kind of need to do and be aware is, do you need to take the time from your attack run, instead of causing damage, should you go and try to defend? And I obviously decided to try to defend because we need a cap. Like, we desperately need a cap. Fortunately, with the fact that there are our turrets and our sign up, we should be fine from those fighters. Do obviously take a wide path around just to kind of pull away. Now there is a Baron off by himself, and when you're a CV, you want to focus down targets that are off by themselves. And yes, I know, I'm aware it's a tier 6 battleship in a tier 8 battle, and you might say I'm picking on it, but a Baron can still do damage. So obviously focusing down a target that is off by himself is a good idea, because obviously that's fewer guns that are available, and well, more points for your team. So do drop on the Baron. Torpedoes should be good. Lexington does have triple torpedoes, which are really nice because you can get that drop. Look at that, that's nice. Taking out the enemy Baron. That is our second kill of the game, and going to at least do a little bit more damage against this Bismarck. North Carolina is being aggressive. Baltimore went off by himself. He's chasing down our Akatsuki. I probably should have helped with the Akatsuki against that Baltimore, but it is a Baltimore and there's only so much I can really do against it. Obviously our other friendly CV in the Black Bull does realize the danger we're kind of getting ourselves into, and we're quickly speeding away as quickly as possible. And good lord, that torpedo took forever. Do get a flooding on that Bismarck. Going to once again kind of get back in there, try to deal with it. I think this Akatsuki took a little bit too long to get away, and he's kind of getting himself into a corner. And honestly, the Akatsuki should be able to get away from that Baltimore. It's fast enough. Don't exactly know how. Now I am trying the slingshot maneuver. Trying to get past the North Carolina's AA as much as possible. But USN planes are a little bit slower, but we do manage to get through with only minor amount of damage. Should be able to at least get a drop off. Not a full drop, however, but at least with both of our planes should hopefully get a fire. There we go. Bismarck should be on fire for a little bit, not for the full duration, unfortunately. Now, our team is starting to push up the east side, and there's a tier 8 battleship that I'm not particularly happy with, that, as you can see, is full health, and we're going to be seeing his full health all the way to the end of the battle. Now I am obviously focusing down the ships coming from our rear, and I am using my torpedo planes and my dive bombers, because rocket planes, granted the Lexington does get the option between the normal and the tiny Thames, and I believe I did the tiny Thames, which actually deal more damage to larger ships. But unfortunately, with the fact that we're pushing up this way, we're currently being spotted by the enemy CV, which does mean that the North Carolina should have range to actually land shots on us, and just taking my time to try to get a drop off on this North Carolina, lining up the shot. That's normally what you need to do with CVs, is you need to provide enough lead, and you need to try to gauge their angle of attack, essentially. Do get a drop off that should hopefully hit. Using my heal now. One thing I probably could have done was actually drop my fighter, if I have it, to try to reduce the number of flak coming my way. Coming in to get a drop off on that Bismarck that should hopefully hit. Spread is a little wide, so we're probably only going to get all three. Actually managed to get all three. So definitely doing a lot of damage against that Bismarck, but unfortunately our planes are gone, which is not good. Now our team has managed to kind of even up the playing field, and even with the fact that their Lexington is now in a very terrible position, that he's going to get focused down by our Cleveland and our North Carolina. However, our Anshan and our Cleveland are extraordinarily low on health, that even the CVs are currently focusing them down. And unfortunately for our Cleveland, he pushed into the wrong direction, into the line of sight of the Bismarck and the North Carolina, and, well, it's actually the Edinburgh that takes him out. So our team is now down a chip. Our Anshan is very low in health. We just received a huge amount of damage from the Implacable. But we're trying our very best right now. Game is very much in the opponent's favor right now. Unfortunately, that drop is a little bad, but we should be able to get a drop off on that Bismarck if our bomber lasts. Nope. So things are looking pretty dicey right now. Anshan is essentially our last sole hero, and there's that North Carolina with near full health at the moment. Now, I know I'm probably nitpicking, and it might be a newer player. I do apologize. And it gets aggravating, because, I mean, you know what you're doing, hopefully, but then sometimes you have teammates who may not know as much. So it gets aggravating when you're really trying to carry, because currently we're sitting at 118,000 points of damage. We have 2 kills under our belts, and we're just doing the downright best that we can do, and it's always, unfortunately, not enough. Now, I do have my rocket planes, because I do need a little time to allow my torpedo planes and dive bombers to recharge. It does take almost a minute to get a new plane, so that's why it's always a good idea to do those early drops in the beginning of the game, so you have enough planes later game. Do get a fire on that Bismarck, trying to position myself. Going to go ahead and pull those back. Unfortunately, have another little run-in with the Implacable. Now, the Implacable, I think, gets a little too scared right now. He does kind of start running north still, and at the moment, well, we probably really should be trying to stay behind islands, but we'll see. So our Anshan is still alive. North Carolina, look at this, he's lost almost all of his health. He's not angling at all. Just lost our Anshan. So we're going to try to take out this Edinburgh. Edinburgh slows up, smokes, and this right there's kind of an issue. If you're this Edinburgh and you see torpedo planes incoming and you slow up and smoke, don't do that, because, well, it takes a while for you to slow down. And even with my torpedo drop being a little bit later, I still managed to land the hit. That is kill number 3 for us. And our North Carolina has just died. Yeah. So, oh yes, and there's also still a Baltimore. That Baltimore finally is coming back and took out the Akatsuki. So, finally coming back around to actually to assist his teammates. But unfortunately for this Bismarck, he's so low in health that even my drop is going to be the end of him. Let's see. We should be able to get turned. Yes, there is kill number 4 for us. Finally took out the enemy Bismarck. Now, right now, I'm actually going to try to get myself positioned behind an island because that's going to be the smarter idea. Because obviously, the Implacable is now going to be in danger of being hit by the Baltimore and the North Carolina. And yes, we are currently running into the border. So at the moment, our team only has both of our carriers. They only have one. They obviously have that North Carolina and Baltimore. And the enemy team has 2 caps to our 1. And once again, boys and girls, caps are very important in World of Warships. Because even though I'm almost able to even up the team, they are unfortunately going to win the cap. There's not enough time in the battle. So unfortunately, as you probably have guessed, this is going to be a loss for us. Get a double fire on that North Carolina, and that is going to be a perma-burn, which is really super nice. With that in mind, I am going to go ahead and turn back around because I don't want to keep going forward. That Baltimore can chew up a CV, so we do need a little bit of buffer between us and the Baltimore. Do get a Kraken Unleashed. That is kill number 5 for us. And hopefully we should be able to at least do some damage now. Once again, it is a Baltimore. Baltimore has really good AA, and I don't think he's been hit that much by HE, so probably the majority of his AA turrets are still good to go. And as you can see, even though I've been trying to preserve my planes as much as possible, I'm running low, and this is where the issue with the Implacable kind of runs into. He's now in open field. I do manage to get turned around, and even in the Lexington, I'm able to stay at least a little bit hidden for the time being. But unfortunately for our Implacable, he is going to get focused down fairly quickly. Now, I think this Baltimore actually is firing a lot of AP, not HE. I'm actually kind of curious. Unfortunately, I didn't see there. Running in with rockets, I'm very low on planes, but even our rockets are in high caliber. Unfortunately, we've lost our Implacable. Do get a fire, do pretty good damage. The rockets hit pretty darn hard. One little trick when you're dealing with your rockets, actually initiate the attack before you finish the turn. So as you're turning, begin the attack. Your cooldown or your time to you can actually launch the rockets will allow you to get turned and actually launch it in time. So that's one nice little trick. Obviously, now we're going to get focused down. Enemy team is at 800, almost 900 points right now, and there's a minute and 30. Only thing I can really hope for is to try to take out this Baltimore as quickly as possible. And once again, the rockets hit pretty hard. 5k right off that Baltimore. Baltimore doesn't have a heal, so I can use that to my advantage, but I'm running even low on rockets right now. Trying to slow up, trying to get those rockets drop. Unfortunately, that turn was a little late. So as you can see, I'm low on planes. My only hope right now is my dive bombers, and the dive bombers are pretty nice, but you still have to land them. And this is why I said the Baltimore, I think, is only firing AP, because I think for this entire time he just fires AP at my stern. I'm actually kind of curious how much damage. He only did 2k off me. 50 seconds left on the clock. Coming in for a drop. This drop goes a little bad. He does turn. I am a little bit off. I do land a bomb, but unfortunately for us, we're not going to win this. I don't even think I'm going to be able to get the kill. So, yeah, not a bad battle in Lexington. 183,000 points of damage, 5 kills. Actually, can we make it 6? Make that almost 6. Actually, is he going to go down? Try to remember whether or not. No, he won't. We run out of time because our planes take too long. 7 seconds. and that is game. So as you can see, even though I broke my back trying to carry this team, unfortunately it was still a loss, but still not a bad game in the Lexington all the same. We brought home 435,326 silver, 10,968 XP, earned a Kraken Unleashed and a high caliber. We did 187,107 points of damage, 18 torpedo hits, 18 bomb hits, 7 plane shot down, 5 kills, 7 fires, 8 flooding, 65 rocket hits, and 10 plane shot down by our fighters. We were at the top of the team with a base XP of 1,749. Yeah. It was really unfortunate. As you can see, the Turbines that died fairly early in the battle was third on our team. So you can kind of see the big difference between the people who were actually really able to contribute and those not so much. But other than that, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for joining in and watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Side Gen.